Namaste everyone. Today we will talk about Vedic physics and what its purpose. So as from the internet or YouTube or our Vedic physics website, you know, he is Acharya Agnivrat ji, and he initiated or started the work of Vedic physics. The Vedic physics here, its purpose to decode the hidden knowledge or science in Vedas. So today we will know why he is interested in Vedic physics and what its purpose. I will introduce myself. Myself is Dr. Sandeep Kumar Singh and I am the professor of physics and mathematics at JK Lakshmipati University in Jaipur, Rajasthan. I was a research scientist in Sweden for 4 years. I did my PhD from Belgium in physics. I have done MTech from IIT Madras in industrial mathematics and scientific computing. Before that, I did my MSc and BSc in physics from Aligarh Muslim University. I have published more than 25 papers in international journal. And from last 2 years, I have come in contact with with Acharya Agnivrat ji, and I am very much impressed what he is doing physics in ancient textbook like Rig Ved, Vedas, and other Darshan Shastra. And here is my Google Scholar account. And you can check my research paper also here. Now we came to the most fundamental question. When you see the sky in the night and you see a lot of stars, it's fascinating you. So then there is a lot of fundamental questions arises in your mind. What is this universe and how it works? What is the purpose of this universe? And who made this universe? Why we came here on earth? And what is the meaning of life we are living? What is the science behind this universe? How things are working? And other spiritual question also, why we are suffering? This like loss of some our loved one and some happiness, with different emotions, how it is arising. Okay. And sometimes you also think that we are very strong. India is very strong in spirituality. We are doing daily worship, but still India is not progressing that much fast. So what is lacking? Something is lacking, but we are not able to decode that lacking. So if this type of questions doesn't allow you to sleep in the night, then this is the correct platform for you. And welcome to the Vedic physics. So we will give a brief introduction about Vedic. So he is a very famous scientist, Elon Nikola Tesla, and what he told: if you want to find the secret of universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibrations. So what is the universe? Okay, so the universe has some rhythmic or melodian behavior of sound vibrations, which our ancient sages and seers caught in deep meditative state. Then you will ask why I'm saying it is a rhythmic behavior. Because I'm your teacher. So you have to believe me. In the next video, we will tell why universe has a rhythmic behavior. But I will tell you that in Gita, in chapter 10, the Lord Krishna told, in Vedas, I am the Samved. And the Samved is the Veda of music. So, and when you listen any music, you feel calm. In your manastat, in your mind, you feel calm. So this consciousness is connected to our individual consciousness. And in the upcoming videos, I will prove that universe has a rhythmic behavior or some melodious behavior. But up to that, you have to believe on me. Okay. So this universe is made of vibrations, and the fundamental vibration is Om. So in the ancient time, when the universe is created, and these fundamental vibrations are caught by 4 rishis, and then first one was Agni, Rishi Agni, who the vibrations he caught, he wrote in the book Rig Veda. The second Rishi was Vayu, he created Yajurved. Third Rishi was Aditya, he wrote Samved, and fourth Rishi was Angira, and he wrote Atharvaved. And then these 4 rishis give their knowledge to the Maharshi Brahma. So we will also give a little bit classification of Vedas, and we also got this is the Rishi Granth or Ars Granth, because they are written by our great rishis. So first one is Rig Veda, which is the book of origin of universe. Also we call this is a Gyan or knowledge book. Second one is Yajurved, which is the Veda of Karmkand or Yajna. We do in our Agnihotra in our homes. The third one is the Samved, which is the Veda of Upasana or prayer and music. Fourth one is the Veda of Atharved, which is the Veda of science. But as the time passes, the peoples have limited memory then because of increase of tamas. There is a 3 guna, sat, raj, tamas. So previously, people are sattvic in nature, so they have easily grasping the knowledge. And this knowledge was transferring by from Guru Sishya Parampara or from the teacher to their student orally. But as time passes, the tamas good increases, means inertia, people started not to prayer, or they started to take wrong foods, and their memory started to decrease. Then some rishis wrote the commentary of these Vedas. So Atre Mahidas is one rishi, and he wrote Atre Brahman. It is the commentary on Rig Veda. Satpat and Tetre are the Brahmad Granth or commentary books on Yajurveda. Similarly, Gopath is the commentary book on the Atharvaveda. Then again, as time passes, people are not able to understand this Brahmad Granth also. Then rishis at that time wrote Upanishad. Previously it was 118, now lost. Only I think we have 18 remains safe. After some times, people are not able to understand Upanishad also. Then some rishis wrote darshan. So there are 6 darshans. One is Sankhya, written by Maharshi Kapil. Other is Yoga. You know already, Maharshi Patanjali have written this. Nyaya Darshan, which is written by Maharshi Gautam. Vaisheshik Darshan, the physics student already know the Newton's law, and every laws are written there, which is the creator was Maharshi Kanad. Mimamsa, written by Maharshi Jaimini, and Vedant, written by Maharshi Vedavyas. So then how to decode Vedas? So according to Dayanand, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, first we have to read the 6 Vedants of. What is Vedanta? It is the pillar of Vedas. You have to learn all these pillars. So one is Shiksha, how to pronounce correctly the any mantra. Vyakarad, how to written right grammatically. Jyotish, is the Vedic Jyotish. Nirukt, it has derived meaning of very difficult words in Vedas. Chand. So The Vedas are written in like Gayatri Chand, and many other type of Gayatri Mantra is a Gayatri Chand. So how many words are there in one mantra? So we classify according to that, so which type of chand is there, and kalp. And I told you, you have to master in 6 darshan also and Brahman Grantha also. Then you are able to decode the Vedas. And even Swami Dayananda Saraswati told that I also need at least 400 years to decode all 4 Vedas. But how we can now do? Then we will make a teams, various people. We will divide this work to various peoples. And now you may ask the question, how this Vedic knowledge lost? What is the answer? So after Mahabharata war, when all the great warriors and rishis were killed in that war, most of the Vedic knowledge was lost. So before Mahabharata, there was a Vedic era. But even before Mahabharata, the tamas nature, means laziness and the degradation of intellectual level of humans started to decay. In Ramayana, as we see, when Lakshmana was asked, when the Ravana steal the Sita to the Sri Lanka, and there is some jewelry she throws, and then Lakshmana asked to recognize that jewelry, and he refused, that he never saw her face or her Sita. He saw her feet only. But in Mahabharata, Kaurava tried to insult Draupadi. Draupadi cheered her. So you see, the degradation of the society already started. And also the foreign invaders burnt our ancient literature. And for example, in Nalanda University, the library of Nalanda University was burning for 6 months, and it was like 1 million books they burnt. So lot of ancient knowledge was lost at that time. So now we will come the main topic. So why we are doing now this Vedic physics? What is the purpose of Vedic physics? So I made some points. So first one is to know the true science, Yatharth Vigyan. So what is the meaning of Yatharth Vigyan or true science? To know the exact property of any material as it has. Means if you have a plastic and you know the exact property, all is true property, then you will never use in a bad way this material. Like you will not create product which harm the society. Now you see, plastic is the main cause of pollution in overall the world. So, so to know the real true properties of any material is called the Yatharth Vigyan or science. So now, so in ancient time, the Muni seers, why we are calling that Muni? Because they are doing manan. In their mind, they are in deep meditative state, and they are thinking their property, what will be the effect of this material for next 100 years, next 200 years. Then they are telling, okay, we discovered this material and you can make product of this. So what is the true? Then true science, it should never change with respect to time. For example, Earth is roaming around the sun. This is true. Today this is true. 1 million year before that was truth, and 1 million after also it will be a truth. So what is the exact truth? To know that truth, this is the purpose of Vedic physics. And also in terms of modern physics, we have reached a limit in many areas. And I will discuss about those as you are a scientist or engineers. Many astrophysics and particle departments are closed in nowadays because we don't have fund or ideas to carry further research. For example, we will take the example of gravity. Gravity is a still mystery. The Einstein tried to solve this gravity problem, and he gave a general theory of relativity, which says that gravity is not a force, it is just a space-time curvature, and it correctly explains how the earth is revolving around the sun and how the mercury is taking round around the sun. But it is not able to say about gravity anything at the atomic level, and what is the gravitational force between proton and neutron or proton and electron. So then we came with another theory like a quantum gravity, which explain gravity at atomic level, at the proton, neutron, electron level, but fails to explain gravity at the cosmological level. So we see that a particular theory works in a very particular framework and fails in another framework. So we don't have any unique theory which fit in all frameworks from atomic level to the cosmological level. And there are many issues are there. We don't have any universal theory which explain every phenomena in this world. And we also have many elementary particles. What is the elementary particles? Eh? Elementary particles are those particles whom or which structure we don't know. For example, photons. We see this is the last structure of photon. We don't know which particle contribute to make the photon. Photon, electron, quarks, nowadays the elementary particles. And the other questions like what is the origin of charge? Why electron has a negative charge? Why proton have a positive charge? Why neutron has neutral charge? And nobody is able to answer. Then other questions, what is the original form of electricity? What is the electricity? Modern physics cannot answer this question. Energy, what is the time? You say that this is okay, now is 1 o'clock. No, and after 1 hour, this is 2 o'clock. So this is just a time difference. But actually, what is time and how it is influencing our life? So modern science face problems to give this type of philosophical or more deep answer, questions. So also our scientists are doing a lot of hard work and they are doing day and night in the lab. But you see not a single technology or medicine which don't have a negative impact. For example, they made this mobile phone. But when we see that is very useful communicating, we are talking with our loved one, but it also have a radiation problem. It disturb our mental health if we sleep near to our mobile phone or tower. And also medicine in this allopathic medicine is trying to suppress one disease curing, but it also emerges another disease also emerges. So in this way today water, air, space, earth and mind all are polluted. So what Vedic physics do? Actually, Vedic physics is a combination of material science and consciousness science. So in Hindi, I say this is the combination of Padarth Vigyan and Chetan Vigyan. And what modern science do? They reject the existence of consciousness. They reject the existence of God. And we will explain God in also in our further videos. But they say no, there is no God. Nothing is like that. Only these materials are there, or with the natural selection of nature, everything is created. But what is the drawback of this? The human thinks he is a supreme power. The human thinks I am the God, I have a supreme power. and then he connect this science to the business. So now the business lobby or corporate sector are controlling the science, and then therefore they are creating a many unwanted inventions. Some clever people making fool the public. For example, like Facebook or Google, it is also useful to search if you study with the help of this technology, but also you got addiction and you are wasting a lot of time if you have addiction on Facebook or YouTube. So it depends on you how you are taking these technologies. And I already explained from the Vedic perspective, and the name of the truth is science. And so what is the science? Which is not changeable. It should not change with respect to time. What is going today? So if some scientist got Nobel Prize in some discovery, after 5 years, 10 years, some other scientist discovered the opposite of that discovery, and he will also get the Nobel Prize. Then it is not science, and this is not the truth. Truth cannot change with respect to science, with respect to time. Sorry. Okay. And I will give a broader definition of science. And science also have a purpose. It is by knowing the true nature of any material or consciousness. When we apply those knowledge for the benefit of humankind or for this earth, then this is the science. If it is harming our mother earth or humankind or other animals, then this is not a science. Then we will discuss some what is the problem the modern science is facing and what will be the solution we can give. Okay, the first question is the quest for ultimate reality. So he is the famous scientist Stephen Hawking, and then he told, if you believe in science like I do, you believe that there are certain laws that are always obeyed. Correct. If you like, you can say that laws are the work of God, but this is more a definition of God and then a proof of his existence. Then he's saying, then all these things happening in this world, they are governed by some physical laws. And some people say the God is doing, but no, this is just maybe a definition. You say, okay, this is by God, but we never see God, and there is no proof that God exists. And what is the modern science is doing? How the modern science is discovering the laws? So, or discovering new particles. That this is the hadron collider in the sun. So it is the famous energy frequency equation. E is equal to h nu is equal to sc upon lambda. When the energy is high, the wavelength will be low. And when wavelength is high, then energy is low. So when you want to try to decode any particle, what is the structure of that particle? For example, proton, you are bombarding that particle with the energy, some E. If it has a wavelength large, then it will escape this particle and you will not know anything. To know this particle internal structure, you have to hit this particle with that wavelength. So you should have a short wavelength. And if it is a short wavelength, then energy is high. So in this way, this accelerator, which has a big lab, CERN in Switzerland and France border. In this way, we are knowing what is the internal structure of various particles like proton, neutron. So this is the modern science approach. How? So first they discovered molecules, Then after molecules, we discovered a molecule is made of from atoms, and from atoms we came to the proton, neutron, and electron, and then after that proton is made from quark. If you want to go further from quark, then string theorists say this is like theoretical approach that quarks are made from strings. But experimentally, if you want to decode the quark, then you need a huge energy. This energy should be huge, and no machine is built up to now, and in future also, next 50 years, no machine will be there to decode or to see the structure of quark. So modern physics are looking to the structures from the top down approach, means it is creating more energy, and then wavelength is small, and it is knowing the structure of that element. So modern physics works up to quark, and this is true. From up to quark, all the physics law valid. That's why Stephen Hawking were also correct that there is no God up to quark. This world is governed by physics law. But this is the limit of modern experiments. We cannot go beyond the quark. And here where our Vedic scientist comes in the pictures. Because there are, here you came, if you go in the Vedic perspective of origin of universe. So this is the basic particles and quantas, photons, electrons, quark, and there are 7, 8 more steps to go to realize the existence of God. Okay. So modern physics know up to this level: Agni, Moolkar, and quantas, and basic particle and quantas. So we will discuss what are these 6, 7 steps before these quarks and other quanta like photons. Then we will see the ultimate force is consciousness. Behind this, all 4 forces: gravitational force, strong force, weak force, and electromagnetic force. But what is happening because of this Nastiktavad or atheism? The country who is using more energy resources assumed to be more developed, and people thought that we got life once, and then just use all natural resource and exploit nature with full capacity. And because of that, this many climate change problem is coming. We are becoming more atheism and luxury in life. We want more luxury in life. There is no fear of karma, crime, corruptions are increasing, and this Devya good, for example, love, kindness, empathy, gratitude are decreasing, and anger, lust, attachment, jealous are increasing. And half of the world population also have a mental disorder. They are not happy. There is a lot of suffering in this world. And now we will come to the next topic, the cosmology and Big Bang theory. So there is one concept like entropy, and what is the entropy? Is a measure from order to disorder. So when you see at the Sunday, you just fix your room, you put everything placed where it should be. But when 4 or 5 days passes, the rooms disturbed. Everything is like your pant shirts are on the bed, and so a lot of disorder comes. So this is the second law of thermodynamics. Say always things changes from order to disorder. But what is happening in Big Bang? There is some point there, and then there is a Big Bang happens. So and then it come to the more structured, then galaxies formed and we are formed. So we are very highly ordered state. Galaxies are very highly ordered, but here when it is happened, big explosion happens. So this is like a disorder state. So but here is reverse is coming from disorder state to very highly ordered state. So it is violating the second law of thermodynamics. So no scientist is able to give the reason why it is violating the second law of thermodynamics in Big Bang theory. Also, as the Stephen Hawking and other scientists talk about natural selection, that this is the unit of life, basic building block of life. This is a 1 unit cell, and it is made of 40,000 atoms. And then they say randomly it created the cell like 40,000 in this order, and the life emerged. But we will take some Swedish mathematician did these calculations. If we take 40,000 atoms and we try to make different type of structure, then to happens this structure, we have to make 10 to the power 160 structure. Means, so this is a very huge number. After that only this structure will happen. So this ratio between not happening, this structure is 10 to the power 160 ratio to happen this structure out of 40,000 atoms with different combination is 1. So it is very unlikely. And but this Stephen Hawking and other scientists are arguing that this is a natural selection. So this can be done only by a super intelligence, or we are calling this is a Brahman. The other question came for the quest for theory of everything. So a single theoretical framework which explain all the phenomena of the universe. So as we know today, there are 4 fundamental forces. The first one is electromagnetic force, second one is strong force, third one is weak force, fourth one is gravitational force. So up to now, scientists did a very hard work, and they made one theory which has a combination of electromagnetic, strong and weak force. But still there is a lot of challenge how to combine gravity to make a perfect theory or theory of everything. So we calling this is a grand unification, and it is still a dream. On the other hand, this Vedic Rasmi theory, which is developed by Acharya Agnivarti ji, explain all the phenomena from atomic level to the cosmological level. Gravity, which is still a mystery in modern science, explained beautifully by Vedic Rasmi theory. And this gravity is the secret or key to unlock the secrets of universe. Also nowadays, dark energy, dark matter is also a big concern in modern science, as 96% of this universe is made of dark energy and dark matter, and 4% is made of from only visible matter. And this Vedic Rasmi theory also explains that dark energy, which modern science don't have any clue, and we have like 11 types of dark energy. That much in detail knowledge. And modern science also don't have what is the internal structure of photon, electron, many fundamental question. But we know that photon is made of 360 vibration. We know those vibrations also. So we have a very solid argument to explain all these phenomena. So now I come to the point that what is the difference between modern science and Vedic science. So modern science has limited only up to material science, as I discussed, but Vedic science consider both material science and consciousness together. What is it? Now, point 2, modern science cannot go further from their experimental limits. They are bound to their experimental limit. Why? Vedic science can penetrate to a subtle energy. In the Vedic science, we are going more subtle, more such and energy levels. We are going in our mind also, manas tattva, and more we are going to the consciousness also, which is the origin of all this thought process and or reality. Modern science addict human for luxury lifestyle. भौतिकवाद से भौतिकता. People are addict for this. We should have a big house, big car, and we should utilize more energy. But Vedic science keep balance between spiritual and materials. Therefore, work for betterment of Mother Earth. So, if we live with harmonious, with harmony to this world, so we will not exploit the nature. We will take that from the nature what we need only. You need billions of dollars for the experiment of modern science, for example in CERN. But for Vedic science, you need only sattvic and pure inner. So in the Vedic science, you are going in the deep meditative state or samadhi, and then you are exploring the universe. So you don't need any that much very costly experiments. You need only Shuddha and Pavitra Antakaran or Sattvic and pure inner. Modern science physics try to answer how question only. How the earth revolve around the sun. How the negative charge attract to positive charge. But when you ask why electron have a negative charge? Why negative charge attract to the positive charge? Why earth is revolving around the sun? Why we came here on this earth? Why and how? And what is the purpose? If you see purpose of everything, what is the purpose of this universe? Then modern science don't answer those questions. So these are the books written by our younger brother Vishal. So he did what he did. He wrote the summary of our Acharya book Ved Vigyan Alok. This book also took 10 years to complete from the Brahmad Granth Etre. It is the scientific explanation of Etre Brahman, which was done in modern science in modern time by Acharya Agnivrat. So it is like 7,000 years before it was lost, and it by lot of hard work he again decoded all this secret meaning or science in these Vedas. So we started with the Etre Brahman, and Vishal, what he did, because this Ved Vigyan Alok is a very big book and costly book, so nobody can read. To get the motivation, he also did very hard work. He spent almost 2 years, and he wrote the summary of this Ved Vigyan Alok in various chapters. So this book is must. We are also working in the for the English version of this book, and I hope within 2-3 months that will also come in the market. And this is our YouTube channel, Vedic Physics. You can easily find on YouTube, and you can listen various lectures given by Gurudev Agnivrat Naistik ji. So he gave the classes for this Ved Vigyan Alok. What is the preface? So there is some preface. There is 83 classes, but those classes are in Hindi, and I will convert those classes into English for the benefit of our friends from South India and from rest of the world. Okay. So this is my today lecture, and I will also make various English lecture on the basis of the Gurujis gave their lectures. Okay, thank you very much for your listening.